Good day, everyone. Good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in your part of the world. This is King B. And recently, scientists have written an article theorizing that we are inside of a black hole. You know, our universe is inside of a black hole. Now, it's not the first I've heard of that. The first one I've heard speaking about that was the brother. His YouTube channel is Universal P. Well, so shout out to him. He's the first one I've heard ever say something like that or talk about us falling and being in a black hole. And scientists come out theorizing the same. When I think about it, it kind of make a little sense to me. It does. You know, the whole concept of heaven and hell, waiting to, living a moral life, that moral compass, and in hopes of when you die, you can make it to heaven, or if you live an unmoral life and a reckless lifestyle, you're going to hell. When you look at society, and when you take a hard, long look at what's going on in this society, the things that go on, the ills of the society, the big talk as of late has been about Sean Combs and his trial. He recently was found not guilty on the RICO charge and trafficking charges. He was found guilty on 2 charges of what they call the Mann Act for prostitution. He was denied bail and he was sit in jail until he have his trial for sentencing. Everything that went on in that case, all the information that went out, but there are so many other cases. The guy from Abercrombie and Fitch, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, there's so many other cases that haven't talked about, or maybe haven't been discussed enough. Catholic Church payouts. Not too long ago, Catholic Church in California paid out, off the top of my head, trying to remember, about 800 million, if I'm not mistaken. I did a video on that. Not too many talked about that. The only one I've seen made a video about that, as well as I made a video about it, was the brother 78 Sports TV. Shout out to 78 Sports TV. Check his channel out. And check out the brother Universal P while you at it too. Those are 2 brothers, good brothers, who make real good content, put real good content out there. But only one I heard talking about that. Not too many people touched on that. But my point is this. When you take a look at this society and what's going on, the sufferings, the many sufferings of babies, children, young women, young men and men, wars being fought, bombs being dropped, And who was in the crossfire of all of that? You know, innocent people. Innocent men, women, and children, and babies, children who are now orphans. They've lost their mother and their father and don't know what they're going to do, who's going to take care of them, where their next meal is going to come from. I've seen something the other day about the White House stopping or putting an end to the U.S. aid in DR Congo, right? As well as they try to broker some type of deal or peace deal between DR Congo and what was the other country? Rwanda, I believe. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But the atrocities that have gone on and still going on till this day in Congo, DR Congo. You know, the brother, oh gosh, what's his name? Let me get it right. I believe it's Shaka Barras. I believe that's his name on Instagram and X. You know, he has had boots on the ground out there for a long time now, helping to build homes and helping the people out there in the Congo. Shout out to that brother as well. You know, there are some people who are really putting in that work. They're not just talking about it. You know, those who are able to put boots on the ground and get something done and do the best they can. Not everybody is equipped to do that. You know, for some, you know, all they can do right now is have a discussion and talk about it. You know, do the best they can. You know, by now we should all know about what's going on and what's happening with the trafficking situations. Hundreds of thousands of babies, children, every year go missing, right? Something, what is it, over, off the top of my head, over 300,000 a year, more than that, because they don't really report the true number, you know, as far as data. You know, one, they don't want to put that information out there like that, the real number. Two, you got a lot of cases that just go on unreported. And as well as what happens, stuff that I've researched, and so have others, that I can't even talk about because they'll pull this video with the quickness. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? You know? But man, I look at it and it's like, sometimes I tell myself, I ask myself, you know, where do people think we are? What this place is? You know? What God have this whole world in his hands? You know? Don't just say what you believe and what sounds good. Really look at the situation. Look at the suffering of all of the indigenous original people of this realm. You know, they say one man's God is another man's devil. Just look at it. Who has been in control? Who have been living off of the work, off of the backs of the multitudes, sitting on trillions and trillions of dollars, right? In their fancy super yachts and, you know, doing their rituals to stay on top, performing their witchcraft, right? While the majority suffers. Just look at it. And then look at who they call God, who they pray to. right? Who they sacrifice to. Just look at it and be honest with yourselves. Where do you think we are? This society is hell. This society is hell. It's not some place you have to, you live in some moral code, and if you do good or if you don't do good, you're going to go here or go there. Look around you. Just look around you. Look around you. Take a good hard look at what's been going on. Wipe the coal out your eyes. You know what I'm saying? And take a good hard look. It's not a pretty sight, people. It's not a pretty sight. But we can turn things around. We can come together and make a change. We could change the frequency, right? We could change the frequency. Most are talking about a split of the worlds, right? Where do you want to be? What world do you want to exist in? What frequency do you want to vibrate on, right? And leave hell to the people who want to remain in hell. You know what I'm saying? But this is my thoughts right now. I have been going through it all my life. And I'm not the only one that have been going through it, catching hell, struggling, suffering, fighting to make a way, fighting just to live. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And our moment have come, our moment have arrived. We just got to keep pushing. We got to keep doing the work, and we got to keep fighting. We can't give up. We can't give up because we're here now, right? It's humid out here, hot and humid. Getting in my walk, getting in my exercise. But I just wanted to share my thoughts, what's on my mind. I got multiple topics on my mind right now, but I'm just sticking to this one. But I'm going to cut this video short. Shout out to each and every one of you. I hope you all are doing well, really. For those of you who watch my video, I appreciate you. My videos on my channels are for you. My message reach those who my messages are meant to reach. Whoever don't watch my videos, well, my message is just not meant for them. But for those of you who tune in and watch, I appreciate each and every one of you. This message, my message, is for you, as well as for me. Right? Because I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to myself as well. I'm reminding you, I'm reminding myself as well. I'm struggling too. I'm in this fight too. I'm not free and clear from this. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to each and every one of you. Keep your head high no matter what. No matter what. We all make mistakes. That's all a part of learning. That's all a part of walking and stumbling in the dark trying to find your way. You know what I'm talking about? Own it. Own your faults. Own your mistakes. Be 100% honest with yourself. Be 100% honest when you face your demons. That's the only way to make it. That's the only way to get through. Right? And then learn to forgive yourself. And then try to make it right with those of you affected in a negative way. Right? That's all you can do. And whether or not they are able to come to peace with you and forgive you, that's great. If they cannot, then you have to move on. But keep your head high knowing that you've tried to clear that plate and make it right. They just choose not to, or have chosen not to. You keep going with your head high. You cleared that plate. And then you keep it moving. That's how you do it. And love yourself unconditionally. Remember, every single moment, every single time you open your eyes and you get up out of bed, or you get up off that sofa, or you get up off that futon, or you get up off that bed pallet you'd have made on the floor, I've slept on all of that. So I'm talking from experience. Shit, I'm in that situation right now. You know what I mean? But each time you open your eyes, You have an opportunity to change your life for the better and to become a new individual, become a new person. Each and every time you have a chance to make a change for the better for yourself. Don't ever give up on yourself, no matter what anybody's talking about or saying, right? You have the right to make a change for the better for yourself and for those around you, right? You have a right to make that change. You have a right to change that frequency. You have a right to turn the dial from negative to positive. You have a right to do that. Because just like you affect yourself negative in a negative way and affect those around you in your life in a negative way, you could change that dial, make it right, and then affect you and have a positive effect on yourself and those around you as well. You know? You don't have to remain the same. Every day you open your eyes, you can make the decision to change for the better, change your life for the better, each and every time. Remember that. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. Forgive yourself. Learn to forgive yourself and learn to forgive others, man. Stop holding on to senseless grudges, you know? And for those who don't want to change, those who don't see the error in their ways, they want to make excuses, build up the courage to cut those people loose. Love them from a distance. Love them from a distance until they come around and see the error of their ways and they're ready to make that change. And they're ready to come sit at the table and talk in complete honesty. And then you can build and make it right and look to see what you can build. You know, it may not ever be the same, but it doesn't have to be. It could be something completely different, something completely new. But I'm King B. Listen, love yourself unconditionally. Keep your loved ones close. Don't give up on each other. You need each other. We need each other out here right now today. So don't give up on each other if you don't have to. Work that out, all right? Let's protect the babies, the children, the women. Let's protect each other. Men, let's look out for each other out there, right? Again, we need each other. To the next video. Peace.